How you doing? What's up, guys? This is the Evolution to Recovery podcast. I'm going to be your host for today's episode. My name is John. Today's a special episode because we got the owner of Evolution to Recovery today, and we decided to do this to make sure that we're touching base with the owner of the program, and he's normally the host on every episode. But we wanted to share his story today. And before we get into anything, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. It helps us content creators do what we got to do best, and keep the ball rolling. So, Rob, how you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I think it's a good thing. I just, I was trying to get a couple people on here, and I wanted to fucking pretty much, dude. I just wanted to, I'm like, all right, well, if I'm the one doing this, maybe you should know the real reason why behind everything and my life story and what's going on. Like I do to people how I'm sitting in the seat that you're in, asking other people about their lives. Shoot. So, like he could ask me anything. So, I ain't nothing off of the table with me.
All right.
I don't care if it's about anything at all. Like, whatever, even stuff anything you want to bring up. I'm
All
with
right.
it. I mean, that's the only thing to make it real as possible. So.
Fair enough. Well, I'll get started with, so you were born and raised in Philly, right? What part of Philly?
But I start laughing though because it is different. I feel like I'm on the other seat. You know what I mean?
It's different for me. I'm normally behind the camera.
Yeah, but I am in the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's the guest seat. How do you feel about that?
What?
How do you feel about being in the guest seat today?
I'm in the guest seat. I am a guest. I'm a guest in this world, dude. I'm only going to be here for a temporary amount of time. So really, the point is, what can I do? With no bullshitting around either. What can I do to help the next sick and suffering alcoholic? What can I do while I'm on this earth? And try to have a normal life too as possible. Like, what do I do? So, I got to learn how to balance things out. Like they say that in like AA and shit, like it's like a roller coaster ride. You just got to find the balance or whatever, I'm just trying to help as many people and bring awareness to stuff, like I'm not Jelly Roll. I ain't in front of Congress or Senate or nothing like that. But I'll tell you this, dude, I lived if he lived a dangerous life, I know I damn sure did.
Sure.
And that, and that's the truth. If I thought I was cool, messed up, like there was times when I wasn't cool no more. You know what I mean? When I thought using drugs and drinking was cool, there was a time where I couldn't stop using, and I was stuck, and I was like nobody wanted me around. So I experienced all different kinds of things. I mean, but I just don't want nobody else to have to deal with that. If they have the opportunity, they got to do stuff about it. But
yeah, so let's start small, man. Where were you born and raised at?
I was born at Northeast Hospital at Tulip in Allegheny.
Okay.
And
for those of you who don't know, that's Kensington.
Yeah. It's like right on the borderline in Kensington and Port Richmond where the hospital is. And then I was, I lived at Swanson in Indiana, like right near Indiana, and we moved up to Fairhill. We moved from Swanson to Fairhill, back down to Indiana, Grand's back in Indiana. I lived at, we moved around a lot. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
Why is that?
Why did we move?
Why'd you move around a lot?
Well, I mean, drug addiction and
it ran through your family?
Ran through my whole entire family. It ran through almost everybody's family that I knew growing up. Like anybody that was in that area, like it was like kind of like an okay area down towards like K&A. Yeah. Like how it is now, it ain't nothing. It wasn't like that. And as time went on, like, and like drugs start moving closer and closer towards like K&A, like everything down there, like start getting messed up. It was like every single household start getting affected by drug abuse and stuff like that. But even drinking though, there was a lot of families down there that were like, they would go to work and stuff like that, but like they would come home, beat their wives or argue with their wives, beat their kids, fist fights in the middle of the street, block parties, like dysfunctional and alcoholic way, you know, and even growing up as a little kid, like you don't know what they're doing. They're probably snorting lines or doing whatever they're doing too without kids knowing, you
Yeah,
know. I
behind
don't know.
closed doors.
Yeah, I don't know. But then when crack came around, it like bad like that, like in 91, 92, 93, it was already bad in the 80s and all that. You know, families just got like, I mean, I seen like the respectable guy, you know, like skitzed out, you know, like cop and crack, you know, like it just messed stuff up.
So as far as you could remember, has Kensington always been that that like stigma?
What the way it is
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
No, nah, not at all. Up where I grew up, like all the way up near like Second and Allegheny and all, like you know, all up that way, was the Badlands. So
Okay.
back when I was a kid, as far as I can remember, it was messed up there. But down towards like from seeing Westmoreland, like McVeigh area, the McVeigh playgrounds up there, like all the way down was actually a nice area. It wasn't like
Sure.
it wasn't all like messed up. Like there wasn't a lot of drug selling or nothing. There wasn't no drug selling. I mean, I'm sure like people sold pot and or weed or whatever and whatever, but it wasn't like that. Like and then after I remember it too. It was back in 90 whatever. The dude Robbie Burns got killed. And then after that, like the neighborhood just started to change. Like all the drug dealers all started coming through there and you know
Yeah.
and taking over and just doing whatever they wanted to do, and that leaves Kensington the way it is now. You know what I mean? But it was a lot of people selling drugs. Now it's a lot of people on drugs, selling drugs, and homelessness, and the cops letting people just do whatever they want.
Yeah, for sure.
You know.
All right. So you were born in the area. Tell me a little bit about your family, man. Growing up, what was your household like?
Terrible, for real, for real. There was normal times when I was a little kid.
How little were we talking?
Little, like little. I remember like my dad leaving, but he was always around, but he left. I remember him and my mom fighting. He left. He didn't like dealing with conflict like as me, I guess. You know, I lost. You know, I've been in relationships throughout my life, and I hate arguing and I run from stuff. You know what I mean? That's just the person I am. I'm trying to change that about myself as time goes on, but like, yeah, like I just don't like conflict, dude. I don't like to argue. I don't like to. I have a bad temper, stuff like that. But with women, though, like growing up, like I seen them argue. My dad left, and then like boyfriends coming in the picture and abusive to my mom, beating on my mom. Like there was a rumor like that, like basically I was mistreating women and all this nonsense. But the truth of the matter is, the real truth about me is that I don't stand for none of that kind of shit, dude. Like, have I ever yelled at a woman like that I was with? Of course, the people argue. What I'm saying is I don't agree with like women being mistreated. I don't agree with guys putting their hands on women. Damn sure I don't agree with, you know, pedophiles. Like shit like that. Like there's things that I just don't like. It ain't cool. Like
Sure.
it's just something you don't do. Now, have I been around friends of mine that actually have smacked a girl in the face in front of me and shit like that? And yeah, yeah, I have. You know, because then it always turns into that you stick up for one or the other, you know, and then they're mad at you both of them, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know she's sitting there with a
There's no
black eye. Yeah,
medium.
there's no. So you try to learn, but I mean, if somebody's beating the shit out of a girl, I mean, it's only a man's job, I believe, to be like, yo, bro, cut that shit out, dude. You ain't doing that in front of me, you know. And yeah, I watched my mother go through that kind of stuff her whole life, like you know, like guys just putting their hands on her and her having to deal with it because she had nowhere else to go. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And like dealing with the bullshit. Like I see my mother get a TV thrown on her, kicked out her front door, her wrist broke. You know, and being a little kid, like the neighbors grabbed me, and the neighbors put me in a. They put me in the house, like you know, next door. They live next door to us, and there was glasses on the step, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there, and I was a little kid, and they were still fighting next door. My mom and her boyfriend or whoever the guy was, and they're got the glasses to the wall, and I have a glass, and I'm putting it to the wall, and I'm a little kid, and I'm laughing with them because I don't know. I don't know what's really going on. Now looking back, I'm laughing at my own household.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sitting there laughing at my own household, and that's what they did though. Like they would listen to the because it was chaotic, dude. It was nuts. And if there was more people over, like friends or whatever the hell you would call it, fake friends, they would be fist fighting, dude. Like cops would be called out there. Like it was never a dull moment when you add drugs and alcohol, and it ain't a dull moment. But like I just remember like her mentally being like And it was never not a dude like that though. Like they say you adapt to people like, that I guess like maybe whatever she went through when she was a kid and this and that, like you adapt towards them people. So she was always with some abusive guy. I guess like the feeling less than, like feeling like, you know what I'm saying? Like about yourself, like, oh, I gotta deal with this. Like I can't.
She's just been, it's like trauma bonded to that type of situation.
Well, and be getting a, you're messed up on alcohol and drugs or whatever like that. And then your worthiness, like the worthiness of you and the confidence and like she didn't want to work, you know what I mean? Like she,
Sure.
and stuff like that. And I remember one time we were in the store and we were shopping and I was like, yo, why don't you get a job like this? Like I was a smart ass little kid, like smart mouth ass kid. And I was like, why don't you get a job like this? You could have money in your pocket, like saying dumb because I wanted stuff. Like we had nothing, dude. Like I'm talking about like it was always some bullshit, like, hand me down clothes, shit like that. And she smacked the shit out of me. She beat the shit out of me in the store. Like, you tell me where I can work, and that was what it was though. Like we, but whatever.
So let's backpedal a little bit. You said your dad left.
Yeah, my dad.
How old were you when that happened?
Like 2, probably.
Like 2?
Yeah.
Do you?
And then
So like, was he in and out of your life, or?
he was around.
Okay.
Like whatever that even means. Like he was around because my grandma, like my mom's parents were dead. So she had a sister or whatever that was strict as shit. Like she didn't even come near us really like that. Like we would visit her or some shit. I remember when I was a kid. But my dad's my grandmother that I know, like, and my grandfather, like my dad's side. So I was close to my grandmother on my dad's mother. So he was always around them.
Okay.
So he would like go, like I would see him. I would see my dad throughout my whole, up until he died.
Now, did addiction and mental health play a big part in this too in your family?
And with my dad, yeah, I believe
Okay.
Mental health, and drug, mental health, drugs, substance abuse, and shit like that. Yeah, because he lost his wife. He was married and lost his wife. I found all this shit out later. I found out I had a sister. I really don't know. And he had a wife, and she wound up dying or something like that from cancer, I think, and it fucked him up. And he was like messed up forever because of that, like kind of. And then it just always went like that with him. Like, you know what I mean? This is a guy that was like hit by a SEPTA bus on a 10-speed, shot in the leg by whoever shot him, like just running amok all the time. You know what I mean? Like suicidal tendencies, always trying to kill himself, sympathy, like begging for something to change his heart. You know what I mean?
So he left out at a young age. Now,
he left, but like never left. It was weird. Like he left that house, but like, another thing though is crazy. Like, because I used to get beat by the dudes that would be like around my mom and, which is weird as shit, but whatever. I mean, that'd be like me living with a kid and just beating the shit out of the kid. But anyway, which I would never do. But he knew, bro. And like he wouldn't do nothing. I remember telling my dad, like, dude, what are you scared? Like, you know what I mean? Telling my dad, what are you scared? And my dad, he was like, he could fight, but he just for some reason, I guess he felt like, damn, I can't take care of my own kid. How am I? And this guy has my kid in there, like weird ass crazy. That's insane. But yeah, I'd be like, what are you scared? Like
So dad left. You were 2 years old.
Yeah.
Did you and I'm sure did substance abuse run in your mom's side as well?
Everybody.
Okay, so it was
It affected my whole, but any side.
Yeah. No, I get it.
You know what I mean?
I can relate.
Yeah, any side.
So what was the household like growing up? Like give me a day in the house as a little kid, like an everyday thing from little Rob.
Well, they're drinking.
Okay.
They're drinking. They're getting messed up. They're doing probably at the time, like I didn't know, but doing cocaine, meth, smoking weed. The dude, you know what I mean? I don't think my mom was a big weed smoker. I don't know. I mean, she might have got drunk and smoked weed, but yeah. So drug use, just straight drug use. Trying to hold on as a parent, my mom.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like I hated the fact that I don't even know. Like I kind of like hated the way I grew up, but for a long, long, long time. And then I got strung out and shit like that. And then I realized, like, holy shit, man. Like, even my dad, I hated my dad, stuff like that. Like, the dudes that beat on me and shit like that, though, they're fucking scumbags. Like, there ain't no, like, oh, man, I got strung out, so I forgive them. Like, they're pieces of shit.
Sure.
So, a normal day would be like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you come home from school when I went to school, before I got thrown out of my house, because I got thrown out around, like, whatever. And then my mom, like, moved away and left me in Kensington and moved up. Like, it was crazy.
How old were you when you got thrown out of your house?
Like 8, whatever.
8 years old.
Yeah.
8 years old.
And but it was like my mom, like, kind of like the situation with that. They told me, like, yo, go, we can't, whatever. And then the dude was beating on my mom, and my mom wound up dipping out and going wherever. Then after that happened, like,
So what happened to the house?
well, he lived there.
Okay.
The dude, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then she just, and then I just, like, I stayed with my buddy, this kid Eddie, and his mom Sandy. Shout out if he's alive. I don't even know if the kid Eddie's alive, but his mom would help me, dude. Like, and my grandma wouldn't let me live with her, but like, whatever, dude. My grandma was always close by. She didn't want me to end up like my dad. So, yeah.
So now,
but now a worst day in the household is like something like this, like, come home from school. Everything seems like kind of okay. You know what I mean? They're drinking and doing whatever they're doing. Then by like around like 9-10 o'clock at night, I'm getting fucking punched in the face by a dude. You know what I'm saying? And
how old were you?
Young, like 6, shit like that. And or
and like he's really throwing his
the one time
his weight into you.
One time he beat me, yeah, like a punch, bro. Not like may pretend punch, like you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he held back a little bit, because I could imagine me hitting a kid, like a kid that little, like, I'm damn.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like beating, like, yeah, dude, beating the shit out of me. And me being just scared, like, oh shit, like, damn, I can't beat him. Like, I know I can't beat him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. A lot of people don't, like, when you meet a dude, like, like, yo, this dude's a bad dude. I'm going to have a tough time if we get in a fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, some shit like that. Like, imagine being a kid and being like, there's no way I can beat this dude. He's a grown man. Like, 6.
At 6 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. You mentioned school. So what was your school at a young age? What was your school life like? Like, you start kindergarten at like 5? You know what I mean? So like what was your school life like before you got booted from the house?
Well, I went to school with all Puerto Ricans.
Okay.
So that was a tough go right there. You know what I mean? So I was always getting beat up, bullied. You know what I mean? Because I was, a white kid in an all Puerto Rican school. Which put a chip on my shoulder. You know what I mean? Like, keep fighting, then, dude. You know what I mean? Whatever. And that kept happening. As far as school grades go, hard to. Because of what was going on at home, like, hard to focus. You know what I mean? Like, I was all right with doing the work, but once the work was done, I was clowning around. Like, I was a bad kid. Like, I think I had ADD. I probably still do, but I overthink everything. Like, I think a lot. I'm a thinker. You know what I mean? Which gives me my drive, like, in life. Like, people are like, yo, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You shouldn't think so much. Well, it gives me the fire, dude, that helps me succeed too. So, you got to watch what you give up and what you keep. But, bad grades because of that. I've been throughout my whole life, I was in 10 different schools. I went to Stetson at Bay in Allegheny. Like, that was an all Puerto Rican school. It was tough, dude. But as time went on, though, I knew people from the neighborhood, though. You know what I mean? Like, I hung with all Puerto Rican kids when I was growing up.
I've heard you say something before, like, yo, I perform better under the gun. And you just reminded me of something like that.
I don't perform unless there's fire under my ace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll just chill. Yeah. Like, I'll rest on my laurels. So I always got to feel like something's wrong, because if not, then it don't give me the courage to go do what I got to do to get it done.
Sure.
Which is very important. That'll probably come out later in the story if you're asking me about my life. But yeah.
Yeah. So
because there was a time when I had ADD and I was like a dog chasing its tail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no direction. I had no confidence either. Like, I was scared. I was, no self-esteem. Like, always feeling less than, feeling like the dirty kid in the neighborhood. Like that type of feeling. Like, damn, I ain't got it. I'm gonna steal it. Like, whatever. Shit like that. So
it does a lot to your psyche, man. Like, being brought up like that, and I mean, Yeah, growing up fighting every day is not an easy feat. I could imagine like getting in fights at school every day and then having to come home and deal with a 9 o'clock beatdown from a grown man. That's got to be tough on your psyche.
Well, it ain't so much as fighting. When I was real little like that, dude, it was more like, yo, I was getting my ass kicked. Like there was no fight. I would try to fight, but like these kids that's what they did. They bully kids, they fought kids. I
Yeah,
mean, some of these kids were built for combat, dude. Some of these Puerto Rican kids, like they were nuts, dude. They were nuts up there, dude. They knew how to fight. They were like, a lot of them went to boxing, karate, shit like that. Like their families like try to get them involved in shit like that to, one, make their kid learn how to fight, but also keep them off of the street, because their
yeah,
families were drug dealers and this and that. And they used it for the wrong reason. Obviously, they're just beating the shit out of people. I seen like 13-year-old dudes beat up 50-year-old, 40-year-old, 30-year-old grown men. Like they knew how to fight, dude. They weren't like, so shit was tough. It was tough. Like I was, yeah, I'll get punched around, rolled on, it was
so
crazy.
now you're learning how to fight. You're 8 years old. You're unfortunately getting kicked out at such a young age that I
I
mean,
felt lonely, bro.
I'm
I felt like
sure. I'm
nobody
sure.
cared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there was people around me from my family that would see me, like my aunts and shit like that. They were alive back then, and I don't know if they didn't care. I don't think, but they had their own kids to care about too, and it was a tough go on them. You know what I mean? But I just felt like nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
And that's how and dude, it ain't that I felt like nobody gave a fuck, dude. It messed me up all the way up until now. Still,
Sure. It does crazy things to your psyche.
yeah.
But
My
now you're
bad, dude.
in
I'm stupid. Guys, I'm my bad. I'm just like in my head. I'm thinking he's a good host. That's
now
all
you're
I was thinking. As a
thanks, man.
yeah.
So now you're in school, and I've talked to you several times off the record, and I remember you saying a couple times to me, like, dude, I started I started selling drugs at a very young age. So I'm assuming that when you were still in school, you started this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had a tough problem with going to school though, dude. Like I was going, like I lived with a couple families that like made me go to school. They made me go to school or whatever, and then like if I got in trouble, like my mom would have to come there, dude.
Do
The
you
school
feel
would call
like
my
if you
mom.
didn't live with those families, you probably wouldn't go to school? If they didn't care about
150,
you going?
100%.
Yeah.
I would have never went. I mean, I knew I had to go to school, just like I knew that I didn't want to be on drugs the whole time I ever did drugs. Like I knew, like I'm like, damn, bro, I can't do this. Like something ain't right if I can't stop. Like I can't keep going. You know what I mean? But like I had to go to school. I knew I had to go to school, like to kind of get an education. But like, dude, there was too much going on. Like I didn't want to miss what was going on in the corner. I hung around older kids, so I wanted to be like the older kids. I was crazy enough to be around all them older kids and do crazy shit. So,
You
you know,
told me a story about a Sega Genesis. You must have been at a young age to get that for Christmas.
yeah, it was, I don't even know when it came out, but yeah, yeah,
90.
yeah, something like that.
So can you tell that story? Do you mind?
Yeah, I got it, and I think it was for Christmas, and I got the Sega Genesis, and most kids would be like, oh shit, that's cool. I'm gonna sit in the house and play Sega Genesis. I went and sold that motherfucker. I sold it, dude, because I wanted a pair. So I sold that and went and bought a pair of Nikes, so I could stand on the corner and look cool, you know. And there was times like even in my life like where I tried to do good, like I did that and I had them sneaks and then they got beat up, and shit like that. Like I'm big on like not trying to have beat up sneaks still to today because of that story right here. So, dude, I'm on the corner and I'm selling drugs, and this dude pulls up and he's like, "Yo, dude, why don't you work, dude?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, so he's like, "I got work for you." And I'm like, "What is it?" And it's Easter time, right? And he puts me up at right where Coca-Cola is on Erie Ave, like I forget, Iron Erie, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
And he
right down from
and
G
they
and
and
Erie. Yeah,
yeah,
I know what you're
and
talking about.
sell flowers. And I did for 3 days, dude. And I made a lot of money. And I went and I bought a brand new pair of sneaks and an outfit. Whatever I bought was buying like cheesesteaks because, like, like whatever, running around, treating my friends. I was a kid.
Yeah,
So friggin' a year later, dude pulled up on me. I'm like, damn, dude, you still got them dirty ass beat sneaks on? And they fucked with me. They fucked with my head bad. Like I was like, damn, because they had like a hole on the side. Like you gotta understand, like, dude, it ain't that I wanted to sell drugs. It just seemed like the easiest way. Like everything in my life, dude, from half of my life or more was always like trying to do everything the easy way, the easier, softer way. You know what I mean? When like now I'm sober, like that is the easier, softer way. But back then, I felt like the way I was living, dude, I felt like that was that's what it was. That's what we all did. This is how it all goes. I knew there was kind of another kind of life of working class people and shit like that, but it was like, no, but we're here though, and this is what we do. So for me not to have that, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Did it
gonna,
feel unachievable?
I felt like nothing was achievable. It felt like I was stuck in the,
Like, this is what I'm meant for.
yeah, and I did dumb shit and evil shit too back then, to be honest with you. And
Like
like
what?
if I don't want to have, well, yeah, what do you mean? Well, if I don't want to have like sneaks with holes in them, I'm going to sell crack cocaine and heroin on the corner, you know, in Kensington, and I'm not going to have that. And it worked.
Okay.
So now I'm going to do it. You know, I don't know about what I did, but what you know, I've seen people killed and murdered in front of me. Um, you know, drive-by shootings, like a lot of. I mean, dude, there ain't really too much I ain't ever experienced, to be honest with you. Uh, you know,
Well, let's
I seen,
backpedal.
yeah. I mean, I'm just, you
Let's
know,
backpedal just a little bit because we're going to get there in a
yeah.
second. But I wanted to talk about where you were at when you got kicked out.
What are you trying to think? I'm diverting them around.
No, you're
Yeah,
not. No, no,
nah.
no. Because I want to get there with
Yeah.
you. But there's a lot
So
of
what? I
things.
get kicked out, and
So now you're going to stay with another family. This is your friend from school. Is this?
yeah, I lived with my there was a kid named Gaby or whatever like that I went to school with, and they would let me stay with them, and I stayed with them. I stayed with this another buddy. He played soccer though. He was from like G Madison or whatever, and his family was a good family. His mom was like I think the president of Wachovia or something back then, or whatever, or Mellon, whatever it was, bank. You know,
So you're pretty much staying on couch. Like
I'm staying with people. Nah, I mean in the rooms though, like sleeping on the floor or whatever. You
yeah,
know, like
yeah,
they were like that. Like they were good people. Like they were good people. Not that the other people weren't either. They helped me, dude. They helped me have shelter over and fed me and all kinds of shit. I didn't know what anybody in the house was saying except him, but and his sister, and his brother. But uh, yeah, I was staying with them. They tried to get me signed up for soccer. I didn't want to do that though. Like I wanted to still hang on the corner. I would go in there. I would hang there. You know, yeah. And then when they moved the Harleys on. They were like, "You want to go?" And I remember the dad saying to me, "He's like, you want to be a corner boy, don't you? You want to stay on the corner selling drugs and shit?" And I was like, "Hey,
So you were already selling drugs.
yeah, yeah."
So then let's backpedal some more.
Well, I mean, at 8 years old, when I got kicked out, I like moved around. I stayed with different people, but as time went on, yeah, I started selling drugs.
So
I
how
started
old?
out looking out for people, you know, on the corner, you know, like just making sure the
Yeah,
cops
making
were
sure the
coming,
cops.
and they would just help me out with money because I was a hungry ass little dirty kid.
Right. So how old were you? What came first, the using or the selling?
The using, I started smoking weed and drinking like when I was around the time I got like at 8 years old. Stuff
Okay.
like that. Yeah,
Obvious.
I was an addict from the rip though. I would want to smoke weed all day.
Now I could say this, judging from my experience, that's not something a normal 8-year-old kid would want to do. Right? A normal 8-year-old kid, like you said, would want to sit home and play Sega Genesis, right? And I'm not throwing shots.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just trying to get to.
if you say what how
You
it
know what I
is,
mean?
what it is. It is fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I look at 8-year-old kids now, and I think because when you're in the mix of it all and whatever, but like I looked at like my kids, even like I'm like, damn, dude.
At that age, this
Yeah, I'm
is
like, oh
what.
shit, wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, imagine feeling like nobody wanted you back then. Like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's
like it's
got to
like
be. I can only imagine. But so like you're staying with these kids, right? I've been around some kids growing up at a younger age, and my mom going, "Nah, I saw him at the park smoking a cigarette," or, I don't want you near that kid. Were you the bad influence, or were there kids that you were staying with that were the bad influence on you?
well, when the kid that I lived with, the Puerto Rican kid, he went to Puerto Rico and he stayed there for a while for whatever reason that was. Like
Okay.
he had to leave. He went to Puerto Rico. He did something and he had to leave for a little, well, like a year or two. He left. Uh, and then the kid I'm talking about wound up getting killed by the police. He wound up jumping out of a car and trying to shoot at the cops, and they killed him. Him and the dude he was with. You know what I mean? But he went to Puerto Rico, and then I moved down towards like Kensington and Allegheny area, and then that's when I lived with the family.
Okay.
You
Now,
know, like I would stay with them. I would stay with the kid Eddie. Like even though I moved up towards Port Richmond with him, like he lived down there too. That's how I knew that family too.
yeah,
Yeah,
Eddie.
McAvoy.
Oh no, I'm thinking it was
No, Eddie
from
McAvoy. His name
episode
was
2.
Eddie McAvoy. Yeah, he was a cool dude. He was a cool dude.
All right, so
He is a cool dude. I hope he's alive. I mean, he was a cool, but they let me live with him. Thank you.
so you're watching out for cops. You're starting to get in this street grind, and man, these parents are saying you want to stay on the corner. That's a tough feat, man. So what was your answer to that when Dad said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When their dad said it to me, like he was a good dude too, man. He drew comics for the paper, and I forget what else he did. He was like a carpenter and shit like that. And then the wife worked; she was the bank, worked at the bank or whatever. And I said, I don't want to go. You know what I mean? They
Were
even
you?
said like, we'll get you set up with school up there, this, that. Like it was too late.
They were trying to be. They
They
were
were trying to help
They
me,
were trying to
dude,
be your
completely,
guardians.
big time.
But when you're
Yeah.
in this atmosphere and you're in the thick of things, let's say, you're not thinking like that. You know what I
Nah.
mean? You're not thinking like that. I get it. So now you're on the streets. Now you're looking out for the cops. Now you're selling.
To be honest, that family, what I learned from that family, the Carlins, their last name was, what I learned from them, dude, still sticks with me today. Though, of like that's where I seen like family values, like they were, like the mom and dad, like I knew, like damn, that's how parents, you know what I'm saying, act, like that's how, and everybody, and whatever, you know what I mean. All I do want to say is though, is he taught me how to play chess. And then I went to play him, and I was going to beat him, dude. And he quit the game. The father, motherfucker. But I would have won. He knew I would have won. I was good, dude. I got good at chess. I ain't played in a while. I'll probably get my ass kicked now, but yeah, I was good, and I almost beat him. But
Little side note, you know why they started doing like the family sitcoms and everything? Because the demographic of kids that were going through tough times, there wasn't enough good parents back in the day. So they put these TV parents on to show you how family should be. Really, you know what I mean? It's crazy how things work like that.
Well, the thing I think is like in households, like even like my buddy Nick, that was just on Facebook Live or whatever. Like his mom, his dad, like he got brothers, stuff like that. Like they'll all stick up for each other, the brothers. You know what I mean? Like there's a dude I know, another dude I know, like Marty. Like they had like 12 kids in their household. Like there was people that had like family values. Like you mess with one of us, you mess with us all. Dude, we stand by something. Dude, we're loyal to our family. Like a lot of families back then had coat of arms, like, you know what I mean? Like their family came from here in Ireland and this and that, like my buddy Jimmy O'Neill, like a lot of things like that. Nowadays, I think, it's so damn tough, dude, that both parents are out working. You know what I mean? And
it's
like
definitely,
the household's losing that family.
It's tough to do anything without a dual income household right now.
Unless if the one person got a real good job. But yeah, so, yeah.
So now, at what point did it become like, I've heard a lot of stories from you, dude. Like I've heard about you getting put in a trunk and stuff, right? So like shit started the more you stand in that type of atmosphere, the crazier shit you're going to see. I'm sure you weren't seeing crazy things when you were just looking out for the cops like you would if you were really dealing.
I was watching everything. I seen everything. You know what I mean? Because it wasn't just looking out for the cops. It's also like watching out, making sure nobody's like trying to rob the corner. Rob the corner. Shoot at people out of nowhere. Like like stuff like that would happen. And But I was at work one time, dude, and these dudes pulled up and they put me in the trunk or whatever, and I knew them, but the car got pulled over. They wind up, the cops let me out. I got back in the car with them. They dropped me back off at work. The boss was like, yo, what are you doing? He was like, dude, you're always like taking bathroom breaks forever. He didn't even know I was going, dude. Like, I was fucking.
So what was you went through grade school, right? Did you go through grade school?
Nah, I dropped out of ninth grade. I went to ninth grade like 3 times, or got assigned to ninth grade 3 times.
So you went into high school at the very least, and then
I walked in maybe.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
Were like the streets just your full time thing at that point?
So the corner I hung on at that time was Jasper and Lippincott. So we just beat the shit out of the whole entire mass bomb and had like a war with the whole school. And the kids couldn't go to school.
Jasper and Lippincott today ain't no joke down there.
Jasper and Lippincott wasn't no joke back then. Yeah. It was always crazy. I mean,
that's like $1 million block, dude.
What, like a drug selling, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even back, there was like 400 of us down there, tight-knit families and kids that stuck together, you know what I mean? Still to today, like a lot of people died, dude. A lot of people are dead. overdosed in jail, stuff like that. But
So you're drinking, you're smoking weed, watching the block. What happened to the point where I remember when I was a kid, right? Because my mom suffered through addiction and stuff like that too.
yeah.
And I just remember the point where I was first able to try the things that my mom did that I hated, like the cigarettes, the weed, the alcohol, not even getting to the hard stuff yet. And in my head, I remember the first cigarette that was passed to me. I'm like, shit, I'm about to do this. Like, and I'm about to, everything that I stand on, I'm about to throw out the window. You know what I mean? Did you feel that way?
Nah, I felt like there was nothing that I was standing on. I felt like I was in quicksand all the time. Like there was no like, oh, like I knew I shouldn't, because I was a kid. I knew, obviously I knew like, yo, I shouldn't smoke a cigarette or whatever the case may be. But I didn't really care either, because there was nobody really going to tell me.
No.
Even growing up, dude, all the way through, it's like I have a bad problem with that. Like, ain't nobody telling me what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. Like, I'll do what I want. Like a kid, dude, an adult kid, like, you know, and I'm trying to get better with that as time goes on. And I got tremendously better, but yeah, dude, I'm a pain in the ass, dude, sometimes with certain stuff. Like, if I feel like it ain't right and I ain't trying to do it, I ain't doing it, you know, and I get goofy with shit like that. But yeah, I never felt like I never felt like, oh man, yeah, I shouldn't do this, because in the sense of like who's gonna yell at me,
Yeah.
you know, that part was missing, you know. I did have family say like, "Oh, you can't stay here if you're going to do that," you know, and I would be like, I was already used to it. Like, all right, well, I'll grab my stuff and leave.
What about the friends after your mom said you got to go? Like, were your friends' parents saying that? Like, listen, you can't be doing the things you're doing and stay here.
No, because like at that time is when they were leaving, and then I was like, I would stay with families that like I lived in a house where there was like probably 6 kids on the run, like from
Okay.
St. Gabe's, Glen Mills, Slayton Farms, like the whole neighborhood. There were like a lot of kids that I grew up with were like on the run from like juvenile placement, and you know, we were all doing bad shit. You know what I mean? We were all doing bad stuff, dude. Everybody, the whole neighborhood. But I lived with them, and their family, like, you know, they did illegal stuff. The kids, we just did whatever
They
we want.
understood the
We did
assignment.
whatever we wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, we would check an advisory and just go back home.
So, what was the point where you either A, started selling the harder stuff or doing the harder stuff? What did you do first? Did you sell?
I sold the harder stuff first. I
Okay.
sold the harder stuff first, and then you know, when I was around 14 years old, like I went back to where my mom, you know, lived or whatever like that, and then I found my, you know, my brother dead in the back room. After I found him dead in the back room, it just fucked me up. Like, I
How
didn't
did he
talk.
pass away?
He overdosed,
Hmm.
and after that happened, like, dude, I didn't talk. Like, you know what I mean? It bothered me. Like, I would say stuff, but like I wouldn't really talk. I didn't have nothing much really to say. You know what I mean? I was just thinking a lot, and that's where my thinking about everything kind of like excelled more in my brain. Like, thinking things through. Why is this, that? Like, thinking about life. But at that time, is I started also, instead of just smoking weed, I started smoking PCP, and I started taking Xanax. So not long after that, when I was 14, I went to Keystone for the first time.
Hmm.
So you know,
So your first hard drug was what?
my
Xanax?
PC. Yeah, I guess, is that
Okay.
PCP?
Like
Ain't that hard?
hand in hand,
Yeah,
PCP and
PCP. That's
Xanax.
pretty hard, right?
That's extremely hard.
PCP pretty hard. I
I
don't
would
know.
assume so.
Yeah, nah, but yeah,
And
yeah.
you're doing them hand in hand. You pretty much started them both at the same time, or
PCP then Xanax.
okay. And
Yeah.
you were making cocktails between the two,
I
like
was whacked out.
yeah.
Yeah, the first time I did it, I slept on the
Um,
step for like 8 hours
14,
outside because
14, right?
yeah.
Did you immediately know it was a problem?
Nah, I thought I was like just doing whatever I wanted to, like I always do, you know. And I'm like, what with the Xanax though, that's when it got bad to where like I'm like, you know, I'm like, nobody wanted me to like live with them, like the parents, because it's like, yeah, you're out of control. So, and then I had people like I would go around that were like, oh, you need help. So the first rehab I was 14 years old. I was dating this girl, our family actually on Somerset Project. Billy Miller, the dude's name was, and he at Kensington and Cambria. And I went there and I'm like, yo, I need help, like all crying and shit. Then he's like, all right, shut the fuck up. Sit right there, dude. I'll help you. Like that. He was that type of dude. Serious. You want help? You're going to get it. I'm going to send you here. You're going to shut up. You're going to tell him that you're suicidal and you got a problem. I want the Keystone. You know
In
what I mean?
Chester.
In Chester, yeah. Yeah, which is ironic, dude. Like all the shit that I've been through and now what I do is it's ironic, dude. It's just nuts to where my life led to where I'm at now. Like I went to Keystone when they took adolescence. They haven't took adolescence and
So you were 14 years old in a well, this is, I guess, this is before drugs and mental health were like it's a dual diagnosis facility and stuff, right?
where
This was,
Keystone?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well, people have mental, anybody that I think does drugs has mental problems.
but it wasn't broadcasted back then. It was just you're either a drug addict or you're not. Like it's not back.
Nah, I mean, yeah, people were back then. You couldn't get into treatment, so like you would have to say you were suicidal back then because like
Yeah,
BHSI wouldn't take you, so you had to say that, like kind of like it was weird. Like everybody was like, "Oh, I'm suicidal," just to get in.
sure.
And then once they were in, then it was you talk to your counselor, therapist.
How many? How many? What was your stay there? How many days? Do you remember?
28.
28.
I think 28.
Was that your first rehab stay?
First rehab.
Was that your only?
Nah.
No. Okay.
Nah. I've been
So,
at tons of.
so you get out of Keystone. What was your mind like getting out of Keystone? Was it like, yeah, I really want to do this, or was it like, all right, thank God I'm out of here?
Nah, the first go, I was like, all right, yeah, now I'm off it. You know what I mean? They told me to go to rehab. I went to rehab. I get out of rehab. I'm like, all right, now I'm off the drugs. Now I'm feeling like I'm somebody. Because I'm not that dude that everybody's looking at all messed up. And then I go to a meeting because they say that shit. They've been saying that forever, dude. Go to a meeting, get on group, get a sponsor. They've been saying it forever because it's
Since
the way.
1930.
It's the way, bro. You know what I mean? It's the way it is. That's it. You can go around it. You can not do it. You can do whatever you want to do, but it's the way. So I go into the meeting and I walk right out. I'm like, I ain't doing this dumb shit. Like,
You remember what meeting it was?
Yeah, it was at Samuel's Rec at Goal in Tioga.
Okay.
So I walked in there. I said, I'm out of here, dude. I ain't doing this dumb ass shit. These people are weird. They're drinking coffee, and I left. And then about, 2 years later, whatever it was, I went back to Keystone again, adolescent. You know what I mean? And I was the last adolescent that they took. One left, and I was the only one in the whole building by myself. They had a whole floor with just me on it and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was a goofy kid. Like the room I was in had 4 beds, and I would bounce around each bed and shit like that.
Yeah.
The problem is too, though, is around the time I went back, though, it wasn't that I was just doing drugs. I started robbing people. So that's I was a thief, dude. I would rob people.
Comes hand in hand with the
and
territory.
the people that I was around would rob people, and we enjoy taking people's stuff and not earning a good living. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that because of what I do now. Bottom line is this, though, is that I would hurt people and try to take their shit. And at first, it was more the people I was with that were the dangerous people. Because I was a kid still. But I was down to do whatever we were about to do at that time. You know what I mean? And then as years went on, though, is when I, as far as the way, looking back on it, I'll say it about I was a piece of shit. At that time, I was a piece of shit because people that do stuff like that are pieces of shit.
So, but I mean, like
It's true.
it goes as far back.
You can't justify it.
I'm not. What I'm saying is this, though. You've seen the movie Bronx Tale, right? Like there are criminals out there who groom kids into being that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with, and if you're a kid, you don't know better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I liked it.
Sure, of course.
I mean, who don't like grabbing a lot of money for free?
Yeah.
There's adults out there right now that might view this like, dude, I stole. You know what I mean? But when you take it to another level, and not saying I did because, but if I'm tying people up and taking their shit and degrading a guy like a man, and I take all his manlyhood away by like basically he's harmless, like, helpless. That fucks with a guy's head.
Sure.
Now the game is the game. I didn't really do too much to people that weren't doing something wrong. Well, maybe I did, but I'm saying usually it was somebody that was doing something wrong at the same. That don't justify it, though. I was still a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And I know that, because if I don't know that, how am I going to not do it no more? If I don't feel like I'm a piece of shit, then I feel like I'm an alright guy. If I feel like I'm an alright guy and I'm doing shit like that, dude, then I'm just doing it.
Yeah.
You know, so I gotta look at it the right way it is, because if not, then I'm telling myself it's okay to do it, and it ain't.
Now, you I mean, so how long did this go on for before you? Well, let me ask you like this, because I didn't want to get into this subject like this, but before or after the drill rig incident, the oil rig incident,
Well, it
when did
wasn't an
you,
oil rig. It was,
or
yeah,
whatever?
I'll tell about it.
Yeah,
But
but
that's like
before or
way after.
after that incident, did you decide to get your life put together in recovery?
No,
It was
before,
it was
yeah,
before. Okay,
before that
so
happened to me, yeah, I was involved in my recovery.
all
Like,
right,
you know, that was this time. Like I
that's
was
all I
12.
need to know about that right now, because I'll get to there in a second.
He got his
So
shit mapped out in his
you know what
head.
I
You
mean?
know?
It's there.
Yeah.
Uh,
The thing is, dude, is we ain't doing nothing anyway. We ain't got nothing written down.
it's
So
all off the
yeah, that's
top,
what I'm
dude.
saying. Though I
We're
wanted to be
freestyling
honest.
this.
Well, I wanted to be honest like that though,
Yeah.
because I ain't trying to fucking pretend and make up shit to say. Like I want people to know me for who I am, and event hopefully in the, you know, the shit that I do stand by, coming from a household with no morals and standards and none of that shit, to me standing by a lot of shit, dude, that I believe in and I stand by, and that's who I am today. But from trial and error, dude, which that's what I like this doing this, because you know, it's better to learn from other people's mistakes. I learned from a lot of trial and error. Somebody might be able to watch us and be like, oh damn, dude, I ain't gonna do that because I heard this dude. I ain't trying to go down that road. That's important, especially if it's younger viewers, like people that are young. There's people that are coming into recovery younger, and you know they're getting younger and younger.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, is if they ain't got to go through even a quarter of what I went through, dude, then that's perfect. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's why, you know, I do everything I do. Like, really.
I think, and I think it's important to not map these questions out prior. There was one of the guests, I think it was Sammy actually. Shout out Sammy Abruzzi was,
Sammy Abruzzi Electric.
you know,
Call him up. He's a great electrician.
yeah, and he was like, "Hey, do you got the, you know what questions you're going to ask?" And it was like, "Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could go over it with them, but the truth is it's better to ask the questions straight up because you get an organic answer that way."
Well, Sammy, dude, got the most views. I don't know if it's because of that Frozen shit, dude, or whatever you were
I
about
don't know,
to do.
bro. I thought you were about to lay the pipes,
Well, he said
man.
no
Like,
renditions today. I was like, all right, dude, take it easy. No, I'm only kidding. No, but
but
Sammy's a good dude.
so did you touch? All right, so I guess you go back to treatment, right?
Yeah, I'm in Keystone again, and you know, I'm there, and I'm like, damn, how'd I get back here again? See, that's where rehab. That's when shit gets funny. Like, I believe when you go to rehab, like after you know, but it is good to get off of the street so you're not close to be able to, you know, buy drugs and get high on drugs and stuff like that. At least, you know, that's how I look at it now. When people are like, they'll be like, dude, but what are they going to teach me? It's not about it's about just like detoxing, getting off the shit, getting back on the horse. You don't lose the knowledge that you have when you're sober. You know what I mean? Like when you're going to meetings or whatever. But you need a break. You know, you obviously something made you use again. You know what I mean? So I'm back at Keystone and I'm thinking to myself, damn. Because when I got out of Keystone the first time, I thought I had everything under control. But I obviously didn't. I wound up using. I went back harder. I think when I went back again, I was like 17, about to turn 18, and I think I was doing coke at that time. So now I'm doing
Snorting coke, or
yeah,
were
so
you?
you're snorting it. So like I'm, you know, now it was weed, drinking. Then it goes from just weed, no drinking, just weed, to PCP and Xanax. Then I get out of Keystone for the first time, and now I'm doing weed, Xanax, dust, coke. You know, and it's like you know, and then I wind up getting put on parole after I got like out. You know, I turned 18. I got locked up many times, but I turn 18, I get locked up. I'm on parole probation, and
You
I
mind
stopped the
telling?
weed.
You mind telling me what you got locked up for? Do you mind?
What? When I was 18, I got locked up for attempted murder, intent with a deadly weapon, and aggravated. So like they put all them charges when you first get locked up. And then 11 days later, I got locked up for selling narcotics. I beat one case, obviously the important case to beat, and then got found guilty on the other one. And I was on parole and probation for like, I did like 7 days, and they let me out of Turner County parole and probation. And I was on it for like 10 years, dude. So I was like, yeah, it was nuts. So I was like 28 years old or something like that.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a day. Yeah.
So
That's what happens when you yell at the DEA agents and shit like that and tell them that you can suck my, acting all cool and shit. And they're like, dude's like, I'm going to get you, dude.
You remember their names?
No, I had no clue who the DEA agents are.
I was going to say
But
shout them out.
shout out to motherfuckers that grabbed me over the round and slammed me on my neck. They slammed the shit out of me. And then when I went to court, though, had this like dude, like Poindexter with glasses on. He was like, I was approximately like 100 yards away. They were recording the whole shit that was going on the corner I was on. But yeah, so, I was dead guilty. Like there was no way around it. Like I was guilty. Everybody was guilty. It wasn't just me they locked up. They rounded up like 30 of us out.
How many times you been to rehab?
Dude, I don't even know. Dude, I've been to Charter, Fairmount, I think twice, Keystone twice, Mercy, Miramont, Malvern, Kirkbride. I stayed at Kirkbride, like a jail stint for like 4 months. I was at Kirkbride twice too. But the second time I was like long-term treatment. I was there for 4 months. I got out and relapsed right away.
I've never been to Miramont, but I've been to every other one.
I was on a methadone clinic. I went to Dr. Summers for Suboxone, got all juiced up on that shit. For me, it didn't work. Nothing worked because I was an addict and I just wanted to get obliviated. I didn't want my brain to think about everything that, like, I didn't want to think.
Did you ever smoke coke?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like a wild Indian, bro.
Yeah.
Like a choo-choo train.
Yeah.
No, I'm only kidding. I'm just fucking around trying to make people laugh. But, yeah, I did, though. I smoked coke with my mom. With my mother, you know what I mean? That was one of the greatest memories I ever have with my mom in life, honestly. I'm not saying that to be funny or make people be like, huh? I was a kid, dude. And she was like, do you want to try this? And I sat there all day smoking with her.
How old?
Young. I don't know. Young. I was a kid. But yeah. And I smoked with my mom and I smoked with my mom. But we were laughing, busting up. This is a lady that looked at me and said, I love you because you're my son, but you're the fucking pure devil. Like something's wrong with you. Because I was an asshole, dude. I was an asshole. I was like, the house that she would stay at, they broke her window one time, shot the door. Like, my cousin had to bail me out one time because they were looking for me because I robbed everybody in the neighborhood. My best friend, he got locked up for bank robbery. He passed away. God rest his soul. My boy Richie. But he was crazy. He definitely he would do everything with me, dude. He was my right-hand man.
When did it turn around? At what point were you like, dude, I got to take this seriously, and I don't want to be this person anymore? I think I could dig myself out of this rut. I want to go to work. I want to work a regular job.
Well, I worked though. I did work too, though.
I know you did.
Yeah, I worked for this Jewish guy. His name was Ira, and he taught me how to lay carpet, tile, hardwood floor, stuff like that. And I was young, and the guy would deal with all my bullshit, dude, all the shit that I would go through. And but it came to a point where I was getting locked up, and he was like, "Dude, I'm not taking you back no more. I'm sorry." You know what I mean? Like I can't do it no more. But he was a good dude. He taught me a lot of stuff too, like that family. Like there were certain things that he would say to me that like always clicked to me still to today. Like, you know what I mean? But I did work. The problem is, like, dude, there wasn't enough money. There was not enough money the way I used ever. Anytime I ever used, I used until I burnt everything out, dude. There was nothing left. You know what I mean? And everybody's like that. That's it. I got sober before fentanyl came out, though. You know what I'm saying? Like when fentanyl hit the street, I was already sober. So pretty much though, I get locked up and all. I'm going to treatment. I'm going to the methadone clinic. I get out. I'm on parole, probation. I keep violating. I keep getting warrants put on me. I keep going away for say 30 days, 3 months, shit like that. When I was 23, I got kids, 2 kids. One time I was in jail while the one was born. So I go to Kirkbride, I get out. I'm in there for 4 months. I get out, and I forgot my paperwork, dude. I'm almost up there. I ain't got the paperwork. You can't get dosed if you don't have the paperwork. I feel like I'm ready to be stuck on methadone. And I went to Kirkbride to get off it. They want to take me off it. I call. They say you need the paper, but it's a holiday weekend. It's July 4th weekend. We'll be open Monday. I tried to last it out, dude. I wind up getting high again.
What were you getting high on at this point?
Heroin. So I tried to last it out, dude. The methadone, I was sick as shit, dude. And my sister, she was alive then. My sister overdosed and died. She let me lay on her floor. I got up, dude. After like 7 days, I said I gotta go. and I wind up getting messed up. I call my parole officer. It was one of the greatest things I ever did, though. And this is the truth. I called my parole officer. I'm like, yo, cursing at her, saying bad shit, like terrible shit. And then I hang up, you know what I mean? And all right, so finally I'm strung out again. I sell my food stamps. I'm on welfare and shit. I sell my food stamps, go buy, a bundle, do it. It don't work. It's not good. It's bad, bro. So she got me all right. I mean, but I go in, she goes, what are you doing? I have my hands behind my back. She tells me, sit down. The door buzzes. They handcuff me anyway. So what do you want? I want to go to treatment, whatever. I get in front of my judge, dude. This is like the however many time I've been there. Actually, I go in front of Seamus McCafferty, the dude from the Eagle State. He lets me go. Go. You're done. I have 2 judges at this point. And Thomas Dempsey, dude, saved my life.
Why do you say that?
Because he just didn't deal with my bullshit, and it made me think about being sober. So I go in front of him, and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I want to be sober, all this dumb shit. And he's like, oh, don't worry. You won't use drugs. And I wind up staying locked up for almost 2 years. So I was locked up I bounced all around. Monmouth County, New Jersey. They got a federal, state prison up there. I went up there, everywhere. And I get out, they put me in Fresh Start. So now I'm sober all this time, you know what I mean? And actually I wasn't, though. I wound up doing Oxycontin in jail, and I tried to hold that lie in, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want nobody to know that, you know what I mean? Everybody's always like, oh, I'm sober, it sounds better when you got more time, but I'm lying. So I'm a fraud. And I go to Fresh Start. I'm in Fresh Start. I'm there for a while. I wind up meeting, my daughter's mother, all this stuff like that. And I wind up coming to South Philly. But the problem is, though, is I still don't, like, I'm going to meetings because I'm in, Fresh Start and all that. I moved to Tioga one. I'm in there. But then when I came to South Philly, I didn't want to do it. I get a job at UPS. I start a construction company, with my buddies and all, and I'm working with them. I'm making good money, whatever. But I wind up fucking relapsing, dude. I thought I was some fake ass drug dealer again for the 90 millionth time. You know what I mean? I got all these drugs. I'm selling drugs. I wind up eating half a perk 30. I wind up screwing everything up, the money, working with the company, trying to build that. Pure drug addict again, dude. Burn everything to the ground. Try to get on Suboxone. I'm on Suboxone, but then I'm buying people's methadone take homes. Now I'm, it's 9 months later. I'm running out of everything. Like, there's nothing left. You know what I mean? Everybody's just mad at me. Again. And yeah, dude, I fucking, dude, I was just doing drugs, cocaine, whatever. And I don't know what happened, dude. I don't know what happened, but something told me, like, yo, dude, like my therapist told me, real good lady. I said, something told me, and she was like, well, if you were telling, you'd be like, I got it. But it wasn't. It was like, you can get through this. You can do this. I woke up. I said, I don't want to do this, dude. Flushed this Suboxone. And I started cold turkey. And I cold turkey for like 19 days.
Where were you at the time?
I was at my house with my daughter and, my daughter's mother and all. And, in the basement. It was bad, dude. It got bad. It got real bad. It got bad, like, where I was fucking hallucinating and I was sick and it was bad, dude. And after that stopped, I went to South Philly Group. And South Philly Group, shout out to South Philly Group. They saved my life. But it's been a journey, dude. It all been a journey. Like, I went in there, dude. I was mad. Like, I was mad. I felt like not so much as like, why am I here? I know why I'm there.
Is this post accident or
before all that, before
Okay.
the accident? So and I know why I'm there. You know what I mean? I know I'm there because I'm a drug addict. There's no doubt in it, debating it, whatever.
Is this where the nickname came
Angry
from?
Rob.
Yeah.
Angry Rob. Yeah, I was mad, dude. I was mad. I didn't know how to be a man. I'm 28 years old. I'm like a kid. You know what I mean? And there's still qualities I have like that. Because it's a work in progress. It's progress, not perfection type program. You know what I mean? Like, I'm learning as I go every day. Way better than I ever was in my whole entire life right now. But them doubts and low self-esteem moments come still. You know what I'm saying? Can I do this? Or, well, jump right into it without risk, no reward. I believe in that strongly. Like, if you don't try, dude, you won't know. Be scared, do it anyway. So I'm in there and I'm not I'm there. I'm just there, dude. I'm at the meeting. I don't understand. I don't want to go back to being a drug addict, and I'm scared I messed everything up. I ain't going to be able to make anything right. And 2 months sober, dude, I'm like, I'm like, damn, I cold turkey. I ain't good. I ain't good. I realize, like, dude, it ain't that. It's me. How do I fix what I do? How do I fix myself for myself? I just created it all. So I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? So I come up with the idea, I'm going to hang myself. That was my best thought. And I talked about this, I think, on it, but
Sober.
hmm?
Sober.
Sober. Yeah, nothing. Absolutely. Yeah. And I was like, dude, like, I didn't.
That's a dangerous thought, dude. I've been there before, so I know what you mean. I've tried to do it under the influence when I was in my relapse mode, and then what really got me was like, wow, I'm trying this sober.
Yeah,
Shit must be really fucked up.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I get.
Well, it's a crazy people are like, oh, they're cowards. There's different ways to look at that. It's hard, dude, especially to be sober and try to even do something like that. Not to say like, yo, you got courage for doing it, because that's kind of like encouraging people to do something like that. If they think it's not, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, dude, it's a tough thing to think about to do. But
Yeah.
so I don't do it though, and I go back to South Philly group and I start meeting people. Not a lot of people are talking to me, but there are people talking to me. You know what I mean? And there is people that I'm meeting, and it showed me, dude, like I'm not alone. See, my whole life, dude, that's all I felt like. I was alone. You know what I mean? Every bad thing I did, I justified, but I knew it wasn't right. You know what I mean? And I'm in there, and there's people there, and there's always new people, and they're laughing, and I start to learn how to laugh. And I wind up asking this dude, shout out, I'm gonna say his name and all, Nick D'Antonio, and I walked up to him. I was like, "Yeah, you're going to be my sponsor." He was like, and he was cool with me though. Him, my boy Donnie Hall, all the shit. And I'm like, "Yo," I was like, "You're going to be my sponsor." I don't think it works like that. But
He said that.
yeah, he's like, like I'm telling him what he's going to do, and he's like, "But I'm going to do it." And he helped me. He helped me go through the book. He has a bachelor's in psychology. He explained to me, dude, like what was attacking me, and I realized for once in my life it was me. Then when I did the 4-step and I told him that, I realized I was an asshole for the way I think. And I still know today though, because you incorporate that shit, but like I'm still an asshole today. Like I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm definitely not perfect, but I ain't evil either. I ain't no bad person. Everybody makes mistakes, dude. It ain't that deep. Like you're an overthinker. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? No, but I'm like, dude, it ain't that deep. Oh well, I'm trying to give you a voice sometimes that it's hard for me to take.
I'm gonna have to be told that for what I feel like is forever, but
it gets easier.
whatever.
You learn to accept things for what they are. But like me, I have a hard time with that too. I think everybody does though, especially when it's something that they don't like.
I was with a couple friends yesterday, and they said to me, "You're probably overthinking." And I said, "Well, what do you mean? What am I overthinking?" They're like, "We just felt like we had to say that to you. We don't know if you are or not."
Yeah.
And it was a joke, you know what I mean?
Well, you're known to be overthinking. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
But I wanted to say, I do want to get to a crucial part of this, but before that, I just wanted to, did you ever sponsor anyone?
I did sponsor people when I first got sober and all that, but it didn't, like, they a lot of people actually, and they didn't want to, like, they didn't want to do nothing, like they didn't, like, and that's not saying that, like, it's no big deal. Some of them wind up getting sponsors and then wind up doing the steps and going to meetings, and some of them relapsed, some of them died, some of them whatever. But so it ain't like, oh, they didn't do it with me, so that didn't work out. They wind up getting other people, they whatever. At that moment they weren't willing to do what they had to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like I benefit in other ways in recovery. You know what I mean? Like there's other ways that I can benefit people and help people too. You know what I mean? And that's where the fellowship, the service, and all that comes in.
Yeah.
So, because I'm not the best reader, I'm not the best, but that don't mean I won't do it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, people that are in my program, they'll be like, "Yo, can you spend?" No, I can't.
What other people lack in, other people succeed.
Yeah, like I think
there, in my opinion, and you could correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, I will. No,
there was a life-defining moment for you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the drill rig, was it?
Nah, the what? Like, what do you mean life defining? Like, where I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna do something.
So you're in recovery, you're doing your thing, you go back and forth to rehab. When you talk to me about what led up to that point, let's talk about the accident.
The accident? Well, I worked. I worked
How much time do you have sober going into this situation?
5 years. I'm sober 5 years. I'm working. I was doing plumbing. I wound up getting a job with this dude doing plumbing, refrigeration, and HVAC. I'm doing that for years, working 16-hour days. This guy was nuts. He would drop me off at the meeting and come pick me back up.
So you were sober 5 years already?
Yeah. And
to this? All right, so then let's backpedal then. Let's talk
yeah.
about your first year of sobriety.
First year of sobriety, I waited 9 months to get a sponsor. It's one of the crucialest, worst things somebody could do. And I say that all the time. And people probably, it goes in one ear and out the other. I'm saying it. Like, when you get sober, get a sponsor. Get a sponsor right away, because the pain is fresh. Thank God I was so miserable, because it stayed fresh. You know what I mean? But some people start feeling better, but it's really not. They're using materialistic things to feel better at that moment. Me, I just felt like shit for 9 months. There was times when I would laugh and stuff like that, but deep down inside, I knew I felt like shit. I felt like shit, and I was acting like an asshole.
And you're hitting meetings for this
I'm
first
hitting
year.
2 meetings a day, dude. Like, I went to meetings every day for probably 2 years. I might have missed one or two. I don't know how many I missed, but yeah, like that.
Walk me through.
I was hungry, bro. I didn't want to go back, but I didn't know what to do to go forward, type shit. But 9 months in, I got a sponsor.
Walk me through.
But I was chairing meetings too, though. Even though I was angry, like, I forget what meeting, I think the Grapevine meeting I did for 6 months before I was able to do, like, the beginners meeting and shit like that. Dude, I was mad. You have to have a year. So a newcomer is somebody with less than a year. So my first year, I'm able to share. I was pissed off that I got a year, because I had to wait to share at the second half of the meeting. I was fucking mad, dude. Like,
because you just wanted to get like,
I was a newcomer like you ain't ever breathed.
Yeah.
I was mad, dude, that I had to wait.
What was your thought process when you woke up that morning with 1 year?
Nothing.
You don't nothing?
No.
It was just yeah. All right.
Yeah, nah. One day at a time. Like, it mattered, but
did you say, like, holy shit?
Nah.
No, it was just get another.
When you don't use drugs, bro, you get years. When you don't drink and use drugs, you get years. You know what I mean? But when certain shit happened, like when I experienced the first step, when I knew I was powerless, or like when I experienced the fourth step, or like even the third step, like, I knew there was something, dude, that was guiding me. I didn't know what it was. I knew there was just a higher power. Like, I believe there is a higher power. Whatever the whole thing in shebang. Like the one guy used to say, you need the whole present, gift, bow, wrap, card. I need everything. I need it all. You know what I mean? So, like, I knew there was a higher power. But when I experienced stuff like that, I was like, oh, shit. Like, that was like not the years. The years were more like, yo, go to a meeting and let people know, so the newcomer knows that, yo, you can do this. Like, I'm doing right now.
So
you know what I mean? That's more important. That's what the year is for, though. When you get time, dude, you go back. Like, of course, you go to meetings for yourself. But you start going back, though, to show people, yo, it is possible to stay sober. You could get through this. And you share your experience. So if they went through it or they're going through it, they can get through it. That's why this is important, this
you said earlier
podcast thing. I think it is. I mean, maybe people are like, yo, it's stupid. I don't really care either which way. If it helps one person, then that's fine with me. What am I wasting an hour of my day?
That's what it's about, man.
It's about really trying to help somebody, bro.
You said earlier your therapist said to you, well, it's not you saying it. Now, I don't know. I can't say for you, but for me, I'd be like, maybe there is something bigger.
Well, something kept telling me, like, go out, and when I was detoxed, like cold turkey, something was telling me, like, yo, you know, like how your head will fuck with you and tell you to go buy something. Like, yo, go get high.
You think that was your higher power talking to you?
And something was like, no, just like, you can do this. You can not. I can do this. You can do this. Like, I'm not. Listen, dude. I ain't a holy roller, dude. And I ain't a big book thumper, but I know shit works.
Sure.
You know, and what I'm saying is something was talking to me bad, and something good was also talking. It was like, it ain't by no surprise. Back in the '60s, you used to have them stupid ass cartoons, like the old time cartoons with like the devil and the angel and each other. Dude, come on. So like, none of this is all made up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, your head will fuck with you, dude. You know what I mean? You got to listen to the good. It's like the good wolf and the bad wolf. My boy Nick, dude, down in Florida, Safe House Sober Living, shout out. He has a thing that's actually posted with that whole story of the Indian.
I waved high like he was standing.
Yeah, man. He's still looking at you, bro. He got them eyes like live. But
you ain't missing these.
But yeah, he has a whole like cloth thing that says the story. Like, you know, the two wolves are there. You know what I mean? What wolf you
sent
feed
me
is the
that.
one that wins.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's the one. Like, you know, the wolf you feed is the one that's gonna. If you're feeding the bad wolf, you know, bad shit's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But the bad wolf is there though. You're just not feeding him, because if you feed him, then he gets healthy and he can run wild. You're gonna feed
Yeah.
the good wolf. You fucking. But they're both there though. It's like the yin and the yang. There's always that evil with the. It's just the way life is. But the important part to me is, what am I going to do to help for the good? Because the fucking dude, the world is crazy, bro. Whether, I'm not trying to get into like politics and this, but there's a lot of shit going on in the world. There's a lot of shit going on in the United States of America. So really, the outside countries, who gives a fuck? And I'm not saying like with, you know, the Jewish people and stuff. I'm not saying fuck them, like I don't care about them. What I'm saying is that we need to worry about here. We need to worry about America, United States of America, dude.
Yeah.
And then when our neighbor needs sugar, we'll give it to them, but we want to make sure that we have sugar in our cereal.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Like there's Americans right now, dude, suffering. Vets. Like, dude, it bothers the shit out of me. There's homeless people here, dude, that
Yeah, we're
100
dishing money
billion
out
could
to
do
other
wonderful things for.
Yeah.
It could build about probably 10 rehabs, and another 100 billion we're thinking about giving could also give free stay for them for a year. Probably 100,000 people. How about the 100,000 people that overdosed on fentanyl, bro? That's what it could help. But anyway, I'm just saying that, like, yeah, I got fucking thoughts and ideas and beliefs, and I believe that people are turning a blind eye. Jelly Roll said it the best. He said, if a plane, a 747, holds 190 passengers, if a plane was going down every day, people would be like, yo, what is going on, dude? We got to figure this out. 190 addicts are dying a day. Nobody gives a shit. I'm not saying nobody does. Like,
It's the stigma.
You always got them people that are like, well, we care. You can't say that. Listen, dude, save your debate and bullshit for your fucking self. Or debate with me on my shit so it goes up with views. Thank you. What I'm saying is, though, people care.
Leave your thoughts about all this in the comments.
They ain't gonna. And if they do, I appreciate it. And if it's bad, I appreciate it more, because we'll go back and forth. We're ready. But no, I'm just kidding. But there are people that care. And it's usually the people that are affected by the disease of substance abuse disorder and mental health. And whatever, you know what I mean? Like maybe people that have a job that have to care about it. What I'm saying, there's a lot of people that are up there in the top chain that run this country that act like they care and they ain't doing shit about it. And they need to. That's all.
All right, so
now where are we at, bro? Because
so
I'll keep going about that. That's my
this is part two. This is part two of the interview.
Oh,
like,
all right. Boom.
I want to talk about the accident.
Well, all right. So, I mean, it ain't really that deep like that. Oh, so I'm working with it.
Here's the thing. I think it is deep because you did it and you had every opportunity in the world.
Well, it's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why. I'll talk about it because I understand why you're asking me now.
Yeah.
So I'm working with the HVAC dude. I'm making a real good amount of money. I'm making good money, dude. I'm able to buy a house. You know what I mean? I ain't never had a new car since. I'm working crazy hours, overtime, blah, 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 all the stuff. I throw the keys in his face. I quit. That day, somebody from AA tells me I could get a union job.
Okay.
I get in a union. Local 57, heavy highway, laborers union, local 57.
Shout out Local 57.
But I get in the union. I work for this great company, dude. The company's phenomenal. Shout out to JPC. The Petrangelo family is amazing. So I'm working with them, whatever. I'm working on this thing. It snatches me up, dude, and I get caught in a drill rig. Ain't always like not for oil. You know what I mean? That what they do is they drill into the ground. They put ties in there and they hold. You ever see when it's wood and it goes down? So before they build a high rise.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and it caught me up, and I got hurt. You know what I mean? And when I got hurt, like, dude, I barely I could walk, and I would collapse and stuff like that. Long story short, they thought that I wasn't going to be ever better. They thought
broken bones.
They thought no broken bones. It just compressed all my discs in my back, all this crazy shit. So I went through that, and then at the time, I didn't take no painkillers. I took about 4 Motrin. So it took me longer to get better, like with therapy and all that kind of crazy shit.
A lot of people would use that. I mean, take that and run, bro.
Yeah, I mean, but Yeah, I guess, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the
what do you
truth.
want to do though? Like, I take that and run. I'm running. You know, like that's how I knew. I knew what I knew. I know what I am. I know. You know, I know what attacks me. I know what. I know what I love. And when I say that in meetings, sometimes people look like, what? Like, yeah, I know that I love drugs. Like, there's nothing wrong with me saying that because if I know what I love and I know it attacks me and I know it's bad for me, then I know to stay the fuck away from it.
How old were you when this happened?
Oh, well, I got, I'm coming up on 12 years. What's today's date?
Today is the 14th.
The 14th, the 22nd, I'll have 12 years sober. So, like 7 years ago or whatever. You know what I mean? So, I don't know how old I was. I'm
Was this
41. Yeah,
before or
I
after
was
evolution?
36. Nah. And so then what happened is I was out or whatever, and I was around people that were doing recovery houses. I wind up getting recovery houses with them. It's a friend of mine still to today. And, you know, they helped me get started like at that time. And I wind up opening recovery houses. And I was like, yo, I want to do it like this. And that was all a learning curve in the process, dude. Like I had no idea what I was doing. I knew I was doing it like everybody else.
You went in, you just wanted to help. You
I
just
just
wanted to
wanted to
help.
help people that are like me and people, you know, like I just wanted to help, dude. Like people needed somewhere to go, you know what I mean? So I did it, but I also there was a lot of learning curves because I knew I was doing it like everybody else. But I didn't want to do it like everybody else. I wanted to do it better. And not for myself, for the people. Like I wanted to do better. And then when I figured out what was better, I tried to do something even more better. And still
We'll
to
get
the
there.
day,
We'll
yeah,
get there
I'm
in a
just
minute.
saying.
So
You want to talk about the program?
eventually, but I want to talk about, so now, what was your recoup time like?
What for the when it happened? Like 9 months until I was able to walk, maybe more. I don't know. I can't remember exactly, but like around 9 months to a year, to
Okay.
where like I started even feeling like, all right, dude.
Yeah. You told me a story one time. Uh, you were walking down Broad Street real slow.
Nah. It was Front Street.
Front
So
Street.
I lived at where the house is that I got. So I'm walking to my car. Now my car is parked down there back of the electric. This is a good one though. This is good,
Yeah.
this fucker. So yeah, paid me ass. So he's funny as shit. He's a cool dude though. But anyway, so I get to Front Street, dude. It takes me like from getting from Second Street to Front Street, it took me probably 40 minutes. I'm not even bullshitting. So I hit Front Street, and Tommy Lanuti
Shout
drives
out.
by me and he sees me walking like that and he goes, yo, I'm like, what's up, Tom? And he keeps going. Bro, I got to my car. Dude, he came back. Dude, it was like another 40 minutes. And he's like, yo, I see him at the meeting. I'm like, yo, bro, I was banged up, bro. You just let me walk like that? He was like, oh, I didn't know what you were doing. I'm like, you could have picked me up and took me. You couldn't tell I was walking. Like, dude, I look like an old person walking. Like, dude, I would have to take baby steps, bro. It was nuts. Yeah, it was nuts. But yeah, he left me high and dry, Tommy Lanuti. But he's a good dude.
All right, we're gonna keep
How
the
do you do
interview
that though?
raw.
Like,
You know
he
what I
left
mean?
me high and dry. He's a good dude.
So
I guess the story wasn't that funny. I don't think it
I
was that
know
funny.
for
But hey,
me,
listen.
I know. No, I thought it was. I cracked up the first time I heard it,
Yeah, I
but
think I told
I
it
heard
wrong. Told a bit. Yeah.
whatever. But
No, I could have added a couple lies in there, though. You know what I mean? Make it interesting and shit.
let's run it back.
Yeah,
Add a couple
all right.
lies. No,
So
I'm only
listen,
kidding.
he was. No, I'm only kidding.
No. So
So listen, and then the helicopter came. No.
yeah, and that's when things got real bad.
Yeah. I turned it down.
So what, the helicopter?
Yeah, I didn't want the helicopter.
I'm gonna keep it a bean.
Yeah.
So after this had happened to you, you know,
The problem that's going on is that there's a lot of shit that I don't like saying because I don't like to say stuff where it's making me look like I'm bragging or something. So like
it's
you're
your story
interviewing
at
me,
the
and
end of the
yeah,
day.
but you know shit, I guess too, like that. Like I'll obviously talk about you. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging about anything either, though, because I'm just a norm.
I ain't making you
bro.
look like no saint.
Yeah,
A half hour ago, I told you that you got put in a trunk. I mean, that's what really happened, bro.
Yeah.
Do you think you were bragging then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I got
not
put in
like
a trunk
that.
because I was acting like a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's not like that. I just want people to have the awareness of what you can go from to what you can go to.
Yeah.
You know? So you get injured, you're recouping. Let's keep it a bean. So like obviously you got hurt on the job, right?
Yeah.
So you get a couple
Everybody knows
dollars
that,
from it.
though. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how I started. I put all my money from that into this.
Into this program,
Mm-hmm.
which at the time was.
I mean, I used money for myself too. I mean, but I'm
Yeah,
just saying. But I put a lot of it into it.
But most people don't think about. And I'm not saying that most people don't think about other people. It's not like that. I'm saying that your head was thinking bigger picture at this point.
Oh, well, I lied to everybody and told them that I only got a little bit of money. Nobody even knew. I kept that under my head.
That's
Nobody
your business,
knew. Yeah,
though.
but
Whatever.
Well, now it don't matter. But I'm just saying. But like nobody knew I had a structured thing. Like they all thought I just got what I got. Like a lot of things happened, but I kept putting it into the program.
Reality, they're like, this dude just got crushed by a rig. Like we know he got paid.
Nah, not really. Nah, man. People really believe. You know, they believe me because they don't know. People don't know, but over time, dude, I just kept like there was never a time, dude, that I never said to myself like, oh, well, I'll let it crumble. I was like, nah, I'm just going to keep putting my money into it and making it stay. No matter if there was like money missing to pay the bills. Like there was people in my program that had to live to stay sober, and I started this. They didn't ask to be there, but you know they did ask to be there. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't. They came to a program. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I had to provide. So I just kept putting my money in.
At the time you first opened this program up, you have a partner.
No, not. Yeah, I did. I did
Okay.
at first, like kind of to help me. And then once we were started, though, he went a separate way, and I went my separate way. And then I wind up probably the partner. And then I wind up getting like Tommy was my partner. People that know me, whatever, it don't matter. And Tommy was my partner after that.
What was the original name of the program?
Pathways to Freedom.
Pathways to Freedom.
Yeah, with the number 2, like evolution.
Yeah,
with the number 2 recovery.
That's when I remember it. Shout out Tommy Mascio. Now you're putting all this money into this, dude. Like this is the money that you got, and let's keep it funky, dude. Like a lot of people would be like, bro, I'm gonna go to Florida, California. You know what I mean? I just want to do that, and you're like, all right. And I'm not trying to make you sound like a glorified saint.
Honestly, I ain't taking no vacation nowhere like that back. I never even at that point. I never even with money and all that shit. I never even was on a plane. So I went to like Wildwood, dude. That's it. Yeah, and antsy as a motherfucker down there. You know what I mean? But long as the people that I was with were like, all right, whatever, you know what I mean? But like me, I'll be antsy. I get up, I'll be on my phone, I'll be trying to check shit. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like I had a lot to live for, bro.
Yeah.
So it went from me not having no confidence or no nothing to me like having a dream and a passion and how do I get there? Like and not let nothing, which is hard, dude. And I'm not saying like I do bro a lot of shit. Whatever. But like, dude, like I didn't let nothing stop me from my dream. Like if you had a dream, you know what I'm saying? You got goals, you got a dream. Like you need goals with a dream too, so people know. You just have a dream. Dreams without goals, like Denzel says, it's nothing. You know what I mean?
Your goal is?
My goal is to help as many people as possible, bro, that are suffering from drugs and alcohol addiction, dude, and actually give them a proper place to stay that feels like a home, but also have structure involved in it too, so they don't feel like where they're like in prison, you know what I'm saying? And there is actually that help there that, like, you know what I mean, helps them get sober and move on and have a productive life. If they have kids, get their kids back, get a good job, like all that kind of stuff like that. But, dude, yeah, I had a dream, dude. I had a dream and a goal, dude, and I'll still to today, I'll stop at nothing at all. I would give up everything, bro, to do what I'm doing, but not give up anything that I am doing. Because I know, dude, there's people, dude, there's testimony, there's people that it has helped. I know it works, dude. I know people are happy. Like, dude, I started out, bro, like dealing with a landlord when I first started where like the bathroom leak, you know what I mean? And the ceiling in the house was messed up for 3 months because it was like a house that you could get cheap. This is straight up the truth. And it's like that, you know what I mean? And people are living there. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You know, all my houses.
It was weighing on your conscience, right?
Yeah, dude. And I didn't know what I was doing. Like there was no like format, no contract. It was basically like just a sober living house. Like, like, oh, you're sober? Yeah, you can live here type shit. And dude, it excelled and went to so many different months at a rapid pace. So
I know. I want to get there.
Like,
I want to get there.
But like the reason why is because people ain't safe living like that.
I know. But I want to talk about pathways to freedom.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we want to know.
No, you know, you and Tommy were doing your thing. So how many houses did you have in the beginning?
Oh, what? When Tommy came to...
Before that, let's talk about the beginning.
I had 4. I got up to 4. Yeah. And then the guy that helped me get started and all, he went his separate way. I went my separate way.
Yeah.
So I had 2. Then I went from 2 and got up to like, say, whatever, 5. And then Tommy was there with me, you know what I mean? And Tommy became my partner, and we got up to 10 houses with like 90, probably, we were able to hold like 90 residents.
Yeah.
And then, Tommy's a good dude, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people have their input and their whatever, but at that time, I'm saying, before anything bad went between us, and I talked to Tommy now, so it ain't, but he was a good dude, bro. He did anything I never had to worry about him stealing or nothing like that.
People can say what they want. I mean, the guy housed me. You know what I mean?
People always got something to say. So
yeah.
it's either going to, obviously, if somebody says something, it's either going to be good
or bad. Yeah, facts.
But in the middle, there is a voice.
Yeah.
And then there's good advice and bad advice still. So it's always good or bad, no matter what. So whatever. But we had that many houses, and we wound up splitting. And I went back down the 4 houses again, dude. So you're talking about in the last 6 years, whatever it's been, 7 years.
So when you split,
I went from 4 to 2, and then I went from 2 to 10.
Then back down.
Down to 4.
Stop you right there. So now you guys split, right? Pathways to Freedom's in like this purgatory thing.
You're about to start asking me some serious shit right now, bro. Oh, it's all right. I'm with it. I want you to ask. Anyway.
Listen, I got nothing. Listen, shout out Tommy Mascio. You had me in one of your houses for what, 9 months?
Well, Tommy don't care anyway. He don't care about
still,
that kind
shout
of
out. Like I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Listen, I appreciate what you did to help me.
So now I'm down to 4 houses.
So now you're down to 4 houses. Now your program's got like this identity crisis thing. You don't got no name. You don't got no nothing.
Nah, I mean, so when we split, like at first he was like, "Yo, keep the name." I was like, "Nah, I'm good." That's why I was like, if I detach, now mind you, dude, COVID hit. COVID winds up hitting. So it's a weird fucking time, bro. Yeah. We split. I tell him he's the one that takes all the calls. Up to COVID hitting and us splitting, I'm in the union. So I was able to work in the union while he was answering the phone, getting people filling the houses and stuff like that. So dude did help me.
After the split?
No. So then when we split, though, I told him I don't want the name and I don't want nobody. So I have nobody. I have nobody coming, dude.
What's your thought process?
My thought process is I laid in bed for a week.
Like,
sick.
Are you thinking
scared.
like maybe
scared,
it's
bro.
crumbling?
It's going to crumble. It's going to fail. It's going to crumble. It's going to fail. It's going to crumble. It's going to fail, dude. Like everything's fucked up. It's COVID. Nobody got money. Nobody can go to work. It's going to fail. It's all going to fail. It's all going to crumble and collapse. So, so I'm sitting at 26th Street and I'm sitting there and the people in my house and shit like that, they're like, we come up with a name. I'm like, the beginning of your recovery, I'm like, evolution to recovery. We come up with that. I'm like, all right, boom. This is after a week of laying in bed, though. I need the name. Get the name. Boom. Go get a website started. I go get the money. I get my money, dude. I get the money from the thing. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to use it. I got to do something. I get a website. I get brochures made. You know what I'm saying? Go get another house. Now, mind you, dude, there's nobody coming. You know what I mean?
Now you have 5 houses.
Well, because COVID hit, so anybody that was in treatment was staying in treatment. They weren't letting them go because nobody was taking people with COVID either. So I get another house.
This is your 5th now.
Yeah.
Okay.
During everything crumbling, I did this. People are like, are you crazy? What are you going nuts? I get this guy. This guy sits with me. I make all these appointments. Nobody's making appointments. I realized, though, that everybody's saying, nobody with COVID can come. Like all the recovery houses. We're not taking nobody. So me being a business type of guy and realizing that everybody in my houses has COVID already. They already got COVID. They got COVID, bro. They already got COVID. I called a rehab. We'll take them. So now if somebody comes with COVID, I had certain rooms where I can isolate them. That's what the other house was for.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So right there,
you flipped a negative into a positive.
Of course,
dude.
I did. Yeah. And then,
for real.
So I did that, and then obviously the PUA shit came in and all that, and people were able to pay, and and people were able to relapse easy too, and jump right back into the fire, dude. And it was a bad time for a lot of people. So all that like money and all that shit destroyed addicts, a lot of them, dude. Like I had people in hotel rooms for months. just getting high. You know what I mean? Like, and whatever. Like, I don't know. It helped other people. Like, you know, people with houses and kids and whatever. But at that time, I was getting unemployment. I never got the PUA money. I got unemployment for my job that I worked. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Okay. So you're at 5 houses. When those calls started coming in, now you flip that negative into a positive, right? You got like let's just call it the COVID house. You know what I mean?
Well, now that, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, dude, everybody had COVID.
Yeah.
So there was like 3 houses with people with COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the other 2 were like, "Oh, you don't have COVID. You don't have COVID no more. Go over here to these houses." You know what I mean? Which, you know, yeah, it was crazy.
Did you start to feel like once you made that move and you're like, nah, I'll take them, bro. If they got COVID, they could go to this house. Did you start to feel like,
Well, there
bro,
was people from the other side of the program, Pathways to Freedom, at the time too, like trying to come.
yeah,
So I was dealing with that shit too, like begging me to come, like, all right, come, then they ain't coming. You know, people don't want to hurt people's feelings. Like they felt like they were getting in the middle.
that's
of
how I
something.
felt, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's all right though.
You know
I
what I
told
mean?
you know, like even Spock stayed because he wound up getting a house right after that. So he stayed on 28th Street, and he, you know, but he wound up, you know, he's in my program, and he wound up going to his own house. You know what I mean? But he stayed. He was like, I'm leaving in a month. So what's the difference?
So you started thriving, dude. Evolution, the brand was built. You know what I mean? You start thriving again. You know, and again,
a dear friend of mine though, Dave Enright, he passed away. He died from cancer.
was he?
He helped me, dude. Like I would schedule the appointments for the business development people from like Malvern and all over, and he would sit there though, and he would talk with them with me, and he was like a calm dude. And dude, he helped me, dude. He would have like all the paperwork out, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But he wound up passing away, dude, from esophagus and stomach cancer. But he was a great dude. Dude helped me. Like I miss him.
I want to start.
I miss him big time.
I want to start tying all this together, dude. And how you mentioned earlier in the interview that.
Do you need yarn?
Not at this moment. Thank
all right,
you,
buddy.
You mentioned earlier that it's crazy how things work out, and I just want to throw a couple scenarios at you how things work out. You were born at Allegheny and Tulip Northeast
Hospital. It's not even a hospital no more. It's Beacon
It's not.
Point.
It's Beacon Point.
Yeah.
That's where we first met. You picked me up from Beacon Point.
Yeah.
Fast forward to where we're at now. Your first rehab was Keystone.
Yes.
Now you're able to take client. Not that you weren't not able to, because they would come from Keystone to South Philly, but now you have 2 houses in Chester. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you're able to take these clients from Keystone at a higher capacity.
Well, I take clients down here from Keystone for years.
Yeah,
I've been getting people from Keystone.
For sure. Yeah. But now you're in Chester. Now you're networking in Chester, and it's just crazy how things come back full circle like that.
Yeah, I get people from Kirkbride. I get people from Fairmount. I get people from Miramont, Malvern. Like, you know what I mean? It's nuts. It's
Eagleville. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah, I get people from all rehabs, but. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's a crazy journey, dude. It's a real crazy journey. The whole thing is a crazy journey, dude. Of how, you know, I just, dude, like I won't settle for less, dude. I know people, like I met people. I'm not talking about people that volunteer, do stuff, this, that. Like, yeah, you got to take it easy. You got to do this. You got to do that. The only thing I got to do in life, dude, as far as I'm concerned, is obviously is love my girlfriend, love my kids.
Shout out Rachel Murray.
Rachel Murray, boom. My daughter Ava, my son Jason, Robert, and Ryan, even though they don't like me, I'll say that on camera. I'm confident enough to say that. That's okay with me. You know what I mean? I got a grandson named Grayson. I'm a grandfather. I'm 41. The only thing in life that I have to do is love them and love the alcoholic addict. And I really mean that, dude. I don't give a fuck if people think I'm saying it for. I know. People know me, dude. I'm not slowing nothing down. What I'm going to do is build it up more, not be greedy, make sure I can take people without money. There's a lot of scholarship foundations that help to take people without money.
You take people when scholarships fall through, though.
Yeah, I mean, I do all kinds of shit. But what I'm saying is, though, is as I get bigger, I help more people that are helping me, too. So it ain't just about me, dude. This is bigger than me. This is like, and hopefully down the line, dude, I hope I can do it, because it wouldn't be me doing it, but I hope I could have like a thing where it's spread out all over the United States of America.
Well, it's your brand.
I mean,
it's your brand.
Well, I mean,
but there's no brand without a team.
No,
You know what
I
I mean?
mean, that's what I'm saying. It won't
Yeah,
be me.
yeah.
At that point, even now, it's not me.
But but you're the brainchild. You put it together. Now your team's there. You know what I mean? But that's how it normally works, bro. Like production starts, one person's in a room printing shirts. Next thing you know, there's a factory with a whole team of people.
Yeah, and it's in Target,
Yeah,
Walmart, this,
yeah.
that. I get
And
it. But I mean, I'm just saying that, but like the quality and the structure is important. Like, dude, I'm not worrying it. Like at first, like a lot of shit happened in South Philly too. Like people talking shit. You know, that's how it goes. You know, I talk shit back. I did. Um, I did. And it's bigger than South Philly. Like I ain't even on that level no more. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to be I'm not worried. It's not about who's the biggest, all that's
no,
bullshit.
you got
I got my blinders on, dude. It's about helping the people that are in my program. So if anybody, you know, and I'm saying too, I'm putting this up here and I'm going to have shit on TikTok and this and that. I'm going to have you post some shit maybe after. Maybe we'll get Larry to tell him. But
shout out Larry.
yeah,
Take your life,
take
Larry.
your life, Larry, dude, the fake gangster, SSI Sammy. I'm giving them a shout out though because they're silly as shit. But what I'm saying is that all that is right there is just to make people laugh. Like people, there is people I know for a fact, like, this is dumb. What this, like, I don't know, get a sense of humor, bro. They don't
You're
sell.
entitled to your
No, I'm
opinion,
saying,
but
but
it
they
doesn't
don't,
have to.
dude. They
Recovery don't have to be serious all
They
the time.
don't sell a sense of humor at a store, bro. Flat out. I'm just doing it so in between like the podcast, there's something for people to watch, like
Yeah.
funny shit. You know what I mean? And that dude that was geeked out, that shit is crazy though. I know there was times when I was like, yo, dude, I hope they don't hear me. I go in, everybody's sitting there all normal on the couch. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Oh man, and they're like, what have you been doing? Like all dumb.
So, fast forward from these 5 houses to now. Tell everyone where you're at now.
I'm in South Philly, West Philly, and Delaware County. We hold like 30 women. What? Well, the house is getting remodeled. So what it was though, when I bring up that story about the hole in the ceiling, so I went from shit like that, like to getting whatever I could get, like that was available type stuff like that, to now every single house that I have is fully remodeled from top to bottom. Brand new electric
They're not
plumbing.
opened until they're remodeled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're not
I
even
could attest
open.
to
Yeah,
that.
they're not even open in total. Fire safety, all that, like hardwired smoke detectors. They're rebuilt from the bottom up, dude. Like all plumbing, electric, new roofs, window, like everything. Granite countertops, decked out, brand new floors. Ain't nothing in the house old. It's all brand new. So that's the first thing. The reason why I do. Then all the furniture. The reason why I do that is so when people come in, if they feel good about where they're at, dude, they can start feeling good about who they are. And that's important. And then you add the structure in of the chores, cleaning up after yourself, teaching them responsibility, making sure they know how to like be clean in the household. Bathing. Like there's some people that come, they don't know, they ain't trying to do that every day. Dude, you gotta get, and there's people that, not me, that are perfect, like in a professional sense, dude, being nice about it. Listen, you know what I mean? I had a kid, dude, that came to me. He wouldn't even talk. He has a little bit of mental stuff going on. The dude laughs, jokes. He's on his meds, right? That's what it's about. I'm not making, like, I see the med log when we check it. But the thing is, though, is that's because of my management. My general manager, shout out to Tariq Spain, John Momoa right here. Like, shout out to, Brian, shout out to, you know what I mean, Chuck at Mantua. Like, Will down in Chester, the phenomenal job Rachel does with Sue and Brooke and Carrie. Like, dude, these people are caring. They're doing way more. They're living with the people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's bigger than me, dude. Like you said, I have the way. Like, yo, this is how we're going to print the shirt and put this on the shirt. Da, da, da. Like, I have the contracts. I have the rules. Of course, I go around. People know it. I'm known for it. I come around all the time. I'm interacting, dude. I have a meeting with my houses. I have a meeting
Every
with my
day.
meeting with my managers. House meeting with my whole program for the guys. Rachel does it for all the girls. Same thing. Urines. I got boxes and boxes of urines, dude. They got to go to meetings. They got to go to meetings. Like the first 90 days, they're at meetings every day. You know what I mean? It's good. Get involved. I'm asking them where their sponsor is. We're about to start a 12 and 12 meeting. You know what I mean? I've been slacking on that. I'm being a little lazy. You know what I mean? But I want to start a 12 and 12 kind of where like it's not like I'm taking everybody through the steps, but at least they're knowing about the steps. They know what step 1 is. They know what step 2 is. And they're allowed to go to whatever they want. just after they make the meetings that the program requires. They're allowed to go to NA, they're allowed to go to Reiki, they're allowed to go to Smart Recovery if they want. They could watch meetings on Zoom. They could go to therapy. I suggest that people go to therapy though. That's a big thing because therapy helped me a lot. You know what I mean? You know. So.
Yeah, and
I mean, I could keep going, but like, listen, I'm not trying to. This whole podcast ain't about my program, but you're talking about my life, and this is my life.
The reason why I brought it up is because look, when you search on YouTube, right, you're searching for evolution and recovery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I search,
because I am evolution and recovery, like as far as like not like
exactly.
I am.
So no, but it makes sense though, and I want to know what I'm searching up though. Why? Why is it called evolution and recovery?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that way people understand why it's not just a guy in recovery trying to talk to other people in recovery. There's a reason why he's doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a reason behind all of it.
In the past 2 years, dude, I've been on, I think, 20 fights. I've never been nowhere in my, all the way up until I was like 39 or something. I ain't ever been nowhere. You know what I mean? So, like, the reason why I say that is anything is possible, dude. There's people that I know, dude, that are in recovery, dude. They've been all over the place. You know what I mean? Like you got to think, dude. My life was like that to where like it restricted me to a one place area, basically, in a sense. Like, what's your microphone looking all crazy?
No, it's cool. I just wanted to make sure we're still rolling. That's all.
Yeah, no, we're rolling. Not that kind of rolling. These are weird.
No, but
like MDMA. No, not that, dude. We're not on ecstasy. We're just rolling through the show,
like rolling like a globe, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know, but so
that's where I'm going to go one.
No, I heard.
What you hear, dude?
I heard that you wanted to record a little number like a country song at one point.
I do. No, I don't want to. I am going to.
So you are. Get it ready. You think you could do any renditions?
I don't know. Like off at the top of my head?
I just felt like you kind of gave Sammy a Abruzzi a rough time. I'm trying to clap back. You know, if you're watching this, Sammy, you knew you saw what I just did there.
No renditions today. No, like I'm not good at acapella.
No, but I do want to ask, how has recovery helped you?
Recovery taught me that I have the chance to live. I'll never be alone again. That if I follow these simple things that are hard a little bit, but they're simple, they're mapped out for me that I can manage to learn how to deal with life and anything that comes at me. I could go anywhere on the face of this earth and not pick up a drink or a drug and deal with my problems. The further I notice that through time that I get away from meetings, I get crazier in my head. The more meetings I go to, I think a little better. The more I talk to people in recovery, I feel like, you know what I mean? I'm in the swing of things.
That's your medication.
That's my medication. Yeah, man. And I did. I went to the doctor one time. They put me on Buspar or something like that. It was like 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams, like whatever. It wasn't much. It made me more paranoid, like panicky or whatever.
That's how I felt with it too.
So, and there's not really too much side effects of that. That's why I picked that one. Like we went through all the medications and stuff like that. But anyway, I don't think medication's wrong. Like even if it goes to 2, just bringing it up, like, like I have maintenance in every program should have maintenance. There shouldn't be a program without maintenance because it's like, no, you can't discriminate. But I also think that there should be things lined up to where like, it's like, all right, well, you're on Suboxone, you go through your proper channels with your therapist and your doctor and the right people, because I'm not that. And then like taper down.
Yeah.
Then get on like maybe Sublocade so you don't have to worry about being scared of going through withdrawal.
Or taper.
And then, get off, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Now, am I a doctor? No. If the person feels like they're going to use, I'd rather somebody not overdose, dude, because fentanyl is killing people. Fuck fentanyl. Fentanyl is the number one offender in the daily world that I live in. You know what I mean?
Mine too.
And, not to get all into it like we did before, but like crisis centers, dude, there shouldn't even exist. People with medical should be able to call and go right to rehab. They should get an assessment right on the phone, dude, and get picked up in Philadelphia too. Philadelphia should just pay for it. That's all. Same shit. But whatever. It ain't that way. And I think there's a lot of people out there fighting for that. So whatever,
Is there anything that a part of your story that you really wanted to touch on today that we probably left out?
I mean, I kind of talked about it, but like, yeah, man, like if
I know there's a lot, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what I
know what I mean?
I mean, there's so many things that come to my mind when you ask me that, but if I had to say, like, don't know what people are going through. Know your story before you talk bad about people. You know, don't bash, you know, people and character assassinate and slander people. You know what I mean? If you don't know what you're talking about, you know what I mean? Do your homework. Don't go off of theoretical bullshit, stuff like that. And I'm talking about myself. Uh, you know, and learn how to mind your business. And if it ain't good, like my grandmother used to say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Then shut up.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. Like maybe everything ain't for everybody either. You know, so there is stuff, you know, if you ain't doing nothing good about something or contributing to the good part of it, try to stay out of it. You know, maybe you got enough shit on your plate that you don't have to get involved in something then. Try to, you know, everybody try to live a good life. You know, like the only thing like we talked about, I've been homeless. I slept in a boat. Um, I've been beat with extension cords and punched in the face, like child abuse type shit. Because that is child abuse.
Alone.
Tapping your kid on the ass, like, hey, you cut it out, like something like
That's
that.
discipline.
Yeah, they don't say that nowadays, you know, but whatever. You know what I mean? I think kids should be corrected. But for, you know, like, yeah, I've been beat with an extension cord, like coming out of the shower type shit. So, you know, I don't think shit like that's cool. I don't think that, I think there's a lot of women out there that like a lot of bad things happen to and they need support. A lot of people to support them, not bash them. I don't stand for like people trying to like take people out of meetings. Like I don't stand for that shit. Like you know what I mean? Like if you date a girl from out of a meeting, all right, that's your choice. Going around trying to like be some pimp player in a meeting, dude, there's another place for that. And I don't know where that is and I don't really care, but treat women with respect. I mean that, you know, like I always ask people like what's the three things you stand by? You know what I mean? Loyalty, morals, work ethic, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing.
Where do you sleep at today?
What do you mean?
Well, you said you were homeless. You slept on a boat. You slept in other. Where do you sleep at today?
I sleep in a bed, you know, and it's mine. I'm not really though, Rachel. What? No, I'm just kidding.
But you're not alone today.
No, I'm only kidding. No, yeah, it's my bed.
Yeah.
That's my bed. I'm able to watch TV if I want. I'm able to eat a hot meal.
And you sleep with someone.
Listen,
you go to sleep with someone you're in love with today.
Yeah, and I got Louie, dude, too. Louie's my boy, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, the truth is though, dude, I still get scared about being homeless. I'm 41 years old, dude. And I feel like I'm gonna get thrown out still. Like, you know what I mean? That's something that bothers me that like we really didn't get into. Like I literally am always thinking that everything's gonna go bad and I'm gonna be homeless. Now when I tell you like about like trying to like accept things for what they are and it ain't like that, and people have told me like that I love, dude, they're my friends too. Like TJ, his father, like a Jimmy Rome. Like there's a lot of people I know like that. You know, you're too hard, bro. Let it go. Like stuff like that. Also, too, though, that's the shit that makes me move, dude, and like hustle.
That's the fire you were talking
because
about.
I don't. Who wants to be homeless, bro? Like you know what I mean? Like how you know what's up. Like what happened? I'm not the host, you are, but what happened when you called me? Like straight up, like I mean, like that's a fucked up
broken,
feeling.
man.
I'm saying, but it's a fucked up feeling.
Yeah,
dude.
sure it was.
Like you know what I mean? And I'm driving. Like what the fuck nerve do I have? This is the way I really think. I'm driving. I'm going down to Bethany Beach. Down to the shore, like, you know, the beach or whatever. You call on FaceTime with somebody, a friend of mine, Brandon.
Shout out Brandon.
Yeah.
Shout out Brandon.
And you call.
I've been sober since.
Who the fuck am I to tell you you ain't got nowhere to live? When I do what I do, though. I got recovery house, I got this, I got that. So I'm going to tell you you ain't got a chance? Nah, dude, go figure it out. You ain't got money? No, the answer is that people out there in the city and politics and all that shit, politicians, Republicans, Democrats, they should be giving more money for it. You should have somewhere to live if you're trying to do good, bro. So you call and you're on FaceTime. You're like, Rob, dude, yo, come. I'll have money. Dude, just come. From a liar, call me it. We're right on the thing. We're going to post this motherfucker. I care. I care about. I want to see you do good. Dude.
You and Rachel. Rachel was in the car that day. She's like, just drop what you're doing and go to Federal Street.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
Yeah, that was.
You know what I mean? And dude, there ain't enough room for people that need help like that, bro. It's fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? And you went to a shelter and they put you in a placement shelter thing and never got in. It's just all nonsense. But you're where you're at today, too. Where you sleep?
I sleep in a bed with the heat on.
Like,
and I mean, full belly
there's
every
a chance,
night,
bro. Like, you know what I mean? That's what my program stands for, a firm foundation for people to be able to stand and get their life back in order if they choose to. You know what I mean? And there's people that choose not to, and they got to go and shit like that. But it's a firm foundation, bro. We're strong.
Anyone you want to say hi to before this podcast ends?
Man.
Shout out, say hi, whatever.
Not really. I mean, shout out to everybody that helped me along the way, everybody that got me to the point to where I'm at. I'm only where I'm at because of everybody. Kind-hearted people, loving, caring people. You know, like I don't know, man. Like I mean, I could thank everybody. I mean, support. You know what I mean? Like Rachel dealing with my bullshit. Like there's a lot of people. Like, dude, man, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, dude. So I appreciate everybody. I appreciate everybody even that like subscribe. Like I know we're like, yo, subscribe, hit the bell notification, hit the like. But the truth of the matter is, dude, is like, thank you, even for like watching or even saying yo to funny stuff that we're doing funny. Like I appreciate it, dude. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to make people aware, dude, and I really do appreciate it, and I appreciate you all watching. I appreciate when you share it though, because more people could watch. Because the basis of the whole thing is to get somebody to know, like, yo, if they went through that, I could go through that. Of course, I'm talking this time, which won't happen again, or maybe down the line it might. But I'm going to try to get more people on there. But I honestly, the reason why I did this, I ran into a hiccup where, like, I kind of wasn't asking people, and I tried to get people fast. So I wind up doing it. I was going to do it episode 10. I think this is 9.
9.
So I was going to do it anyway. But yeah. So, but I'm going to get on top of it because it matters to me, and you deserve that. You deserve somebody that's on doing this to do his job. Like if I'm doing it, do it. You know what I mean? If I'm doing it, do it 100%.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna flake out on my people that subscribed. I appreciate all you, dude, and love you all, and love the fact of like I don't know, some people I don't love like personally, you know what I mean, but love the fact that they are supporting it and like watching it. Like you know what I mean. Love the fact that they're involved in recovery, or some of them might not be, and you know what I mean. Are good people. We need more good people in the world, dude. And I thank everybody that was good to me, no matter
Well,
what happened. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you doing this today. You know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? You know
You're
what I'm
making my
saying?
arm move a little weird.
My
That's
bad,
okay
but all
though.
right, yeah.
That's okay.
There you go. All right.
No, but listen, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And it's not for the reason of getting more views or anything like that. It's about spreading awareness. And if you know you yourself, or if you know a loved one that's going through this, man, don't hesitate to call crisis center, get them into a hospital, or even just taking them to a meeting or showing them the podcast. Any little bit does help. And yeah, thanks again for tuning in this week, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, and if anybody wants to be on the podcast, if they want to do that, DM me. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Like you can just message me or Evolution over here. Right, that's what it is. Your thing,
Evolution.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Message them, whatever. We'll get it. We'll get it together. You come on the show. I'll ask you questions, talk about your life, talk about what you're going through. It ain't all got to be about an AA story, but that's all I got to say.
All right. Take care.